So, probably most of you don't know that if you have a cardiac arrest, you're not allowed to drive for 6 months. And well, I'm feeling well enough to get out and about and riding my bike. Might even get out in the kayak in the next week or so, hopefully. So I thought I'd do a bit of a series on fishing using public transport and bikes. So check it out. And I'm going to start today at a location that if I was going fishing, I would actually just ride here. This is my nearest train station, so this will be where we're starting all our journeys. This is Guildford. I'll see you on the water. This is Fish Market Reserve. Leave the north side of the station, turn left onto Market Street, or west, which then bends north, left onto Swan Street west, into Fish Market Reserve. Alright, so very simple kit. Got this nice Revolution travel rod, Shimano. It's the 7-foot, 3 to 5 kilo, 3-piece. I don't know, after today I might not bring the sleeve, but then it also gives you a little bit of protection from when if you're riding under trees. There she is. Brag mat. My ever trusty Ranium, just feeling a bit worse for wear at the moment. Didn't get the proper care it needed after it was last used, I think. It's loaded with 10-pound braid and 10-pound mono leader, which is probably a bit overkill. Definitely a bit overkill. Bag of prawns. And this tiny little box, which has some sinkers and some hooks. Usually size 2 circles. Perfect for this job. Alright, let's see if we can't get a fish or two. Ah, things you find. Haven't even had a cast yet and I've already scored a lure. Excellent. First cast. Simple as that. Little piece of prawn on a hook. Don't be afraid to get right in under stuff. Sometimes the fish are right there. Sometimes the difference is just being in the shade, I think. Alright, I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes here because I want to check out some other spots, show you some other spots. But I was about to leave and I lost a bait, so, you know, can't leave now. Ordinarily, I'd just grab the backpack and just keep walking. There's heaps and heaps of path, or heaps of space you can get through up that way. You can go the other way as well, down under the bridge. And there's fish all along here. Just pick your snags and give it a go. Usually if you haven't had a bite within a minute or two, they're probably not there. But go to the next snag and maybe that's where they are. There we go. Finally got a bite, yes. Got a fish. It's certainly no monster. One grunter. There you go. Now I lost 2 baits in quick succession. There you go. That shows how sharp the hook is. It's not even in his mouth. I lost 2 baits in quick succession without even feeling any bites, which told me that they were probably little tiny guys. And indeed they were. Alright. We'll go for one more and then we'll hit the road and try somewhere else. You might have noticed that I've actually downgraded my hook. It's just a regular suicide. I don't know what size it is. It's little. When I just want to catch fish, don't really care. I mean, I'm a big believer that you can catch big fish on small hooks. So, oh, still got bait, so. Especially in situations like this, I've caught some big bream on very small hooks, so I'm quite happy just to downsize, fish little hooks. That way you catch something, even if they're tiny, and you're still in the game for bigger fish. So, alright, last bait here, and then we'll go check out Kings Meadow Oval for you. No, missed him and lost the bait. Alright, we'll make a move and we'll go check out somewhere else. Head south from the station on Market or Stephen Street, turn onto Hill Street to the end at the reserve. This is Kings Meadow Polo Club. In season there's definitely horses here, but you don't want to be catching them. Alright, and here we are at Kings Meadow Oval. Just on the opposite side of the bridge. So we're now on the downstream side. Fish market's just upstream. We're now just downstream. This is a pretty good spot, so hopefully the fish will play ball. The first fish I ever caught on this reel came from under this tree quite a few years ago, and the tide was a lot higher that day. Somebody's obviously got one or a couple since the tide was last up. Let's see what happens. Bite. Gotcha. Oh, no, didn't gotcha. It was a stick. It's going to be fast bait turnover. They're probably very small fish, which is why I'm not hooking them. But unlike at fish market, as soon as the bait's in the water, getting bites. Go, another tiny little grunter. Slightly bigger than the one I caught at fish market. Don't know if you can see it on the camera where I'm landing it, but I'm only casting to about the line of the trees, not casting far. Gotcha. No, I've got another stick. I've got a branch. It is moving very slowly. Catch of the day. Might be morning tea time, I think. Right up and catch this fish. That's a better one. That'll be a bream. Here you go, we got a bream. Yeah, no monster. Mid-20s maybe. But I think that's my cue to have morning tea. Yeah, buddy. Off you go. And off he goes. morning tea, I moved to the other end of the reserve to fish the mouth of the Helena River. Popular spot, good chance of the mulloway, and I often catch lots and lots of bream here. Great place to bring the kids. Serious? Didn't even know it was there. That is what we call a mulloway bait. Too bad I've only got one rod. If I was down here with a bigger rod, he would be going out as a mulloway bait, for sure. And always be careful around here. There's obviously some, let's say, less caring anglers that fish from here, and there's always hooks and line and stuff on the ground, so just be careful. Watch your feet, especially if you've got little kids. Grunt, 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 grunt. There he goes. I'll just show you this technique. You might have noticed it on the last cast. Because I'm fishing unweighted and the wind's blowing straight back in, it can make it hard to keep a bait out in the water without getting a huge amount of slack. So what I do is you do that solid sideways cast so it doesn't get very high anyway, and then as soon as the bait hits the water, drop the tip right to the water so your line stays in the water, and you don't get the wind catching it and making loops. So I'll go show it, and then maybe we'll get a closer angle as well. So what you want to do is punch against the wind, drop that rod tip. You're still not going to get a long cast, but it'll get you out there, and it allows your bait to sink without being caught in a giant loop and dragged back into you. And that's how you catch grunt. You just watch that rod tip, watch the line. Bam, fish. Oh, missed him. I'm going to go a little bit further out towards the mouth of the river, I guess you'd say. See what happens. Trying to get away from the grunter, I guess, now. Try and find some actual bream. And if this doesn't work, we'll go try the last spot on my list for today, and it should be good. Yeah, bites already. There we go. I thought it was a better one, but maybe it's another grunter. Another grunter. Rod tip straight to the water. Come up tight. And fish. That's good for the bream, or a bigger grunter. Oh, I lost him. Bummer. And another grunter. Grunty, grunty. Alright, I'm going to call this last bait for here. We don't have a lot of bait left, and I do want to show you one more spot. Hopefully the fish will play ball over there and we can use the rest of the bait up on them. Hopefully there'll be some bream, not just grunter. But whatever. Keep that a little bit low in the line, and as it pulls up tight, you know the fish is there. Just like that. And you're on. Easy as that. They're slowly getting to be bigger, Grunter. But I'm going to leave you lot biting here and go see if we can find some brimbos. Grunt, grunt. Yes, okay, bye. Okay, let's migrate to our last spot. Go along Guildford Road to the lights and then south along Great Eastern Highway until you cross over the Helena River Bridge. Take the first road to the right, head down to the end of that, and then onto the bush and down to the river. So that over there is where we were a minute ago, Kings Meadow Oval. You see the mouth of the Helena there, back up to that bridge that I showed you footage from a second ago. Bassendean on the other side. A nice little long range of snaggy areas. Alright, last spot for the day. This is my local. Yeah, I've caught plenty of good sized bream from here over the years. Again, just under or just past the end of the trees. It's a little bit trickier because it's a crosswind, not a headwind from this side, but we'll see how it goes. A few little bites and the line's just pulled up tight. Let's drop it back now. Didn't miss my bait. No, here we go. And it's a grunt. There you go. Another bream, surefire spot. And if you want to fish here, go. See if we can get some more. We've actually got a double problem here because the tide's going in and the wind's blowing that way. So it's really strongly pulling the line that way. Here we go for another fish. Grunter this time. So yeah, it does make it a bit challenging when you've got trying to fish unweighted and wind and tide both going across you. Certainly not unmanageable though. It also should be pretty obvious that all of these areas are pretty high snake risk. So keep an eye where you're putting your feet. Just leave them alone if you see one and they'll nick off. No worries. It's not worth trying to chase them or upset them because tiger snakes are grumpy animals. And if you upset them, they'll go for you instead of just running away, which they just run away if you leave them alone. If you stop getting bites, you just move to the next tree. This is a really good one for forcing your hand to learn to underhand cast. The number of bream, big and small, that my kids have pulled from under this tree, it's pretty cool. And yeah, I think they're straight away onto it. It's a little tricky with a 7-foot rod. Works better with the little 4-foot kids rods in this spot. And sometimes a year you will want to bring mosquito repellent. Shoot. The only thing to watch out for is these guys. They're everywhere, there's plenty of them. And they will find any scrap of meat that you leave on the ground very quickly. So that's it. That's my very brief rundown of fishing based off Guildford train station. These spots are all a short walk, a very short ride from the station, and can easily be fished with a single light rod, travel rod if you've got it, and absolutely minimal gear. And there's hours and hours, you can just keep walking up and down this, lock your bike up somewhere and go for a walk, and just every snag will have fish. I haven't set the world on fire, but all of these spots I have had days where I've caught heaps of fish, so give it a go. Let us know how you go, I've got a couple of ideas for the next month of places that I might travel to using the train. If you got any really good suggestions for me, feel free to drop a comment, and I'll see if I can check them out. Otherwise, I'm going to wind it up there, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.